Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Good to see you. Mm, I hope you're well.
Hey, good to see everybody. You might want to look at the other pages and connect if you want to.
Mm. So some of you may have uh, noticed in our emails that we're doing some fundraising work for Burma, Myanmar. We had actually started last Monday. We had a kind of online meditation fundraiser information session about the kind of collaborators that we've been working with to get some funds into Burma. And and then of course just the other day after that there was this horrible earthquake that happened. And in case you hadn't seen any of our messaging around it, the epicenter of that earthquake is just a few miles from where many of you have been and traveled, and you hear us talk about, Sagaing Hills, Watchet, and Chaswell Monastery. It's a 7.7 earthquake. It's just right on the other side of the hills. So the devastation has just been horrible, as you can imagine. And we're still getting word about it. Uh, Kind of more details are trickling in as people kind of get cell phone reception back up and things like that. So anyway, we'll just say that the fundraising efforts have been very successful. The first Monday night that we raised about $10,000 from that kind of effort. And then we've raised just about another $10,000 just on the last day from the email. Just really wonderful. And, amid a very sober and disheartening situation, just feeling really good about our ability to kind of immediately start to get some resources back into that community in particular. Of course, there are many communities that need it, and though it is noticeable and notable how difficult it is to get into the more rural areas, you'll see more of the kind of some of the dramatic footage of the skyscrapers and big buildings in the cities falling. Um, Fortunately, in this case, the people in the rural areas live in structures that are not so overwhelming when they collapse, but the monasteries and the nunneries are, many of them are from that kind of Victorian late 1800s era, and a lot of them have just collapsed. A few deaths in the Sagaing area. We're not quite sure exactly who, some nuns. So we're waiting for some more details on that. But it's, of course, we're very heavy on our hearts and something we're thinking about a lot, involved in a lot, and know that many of you are as well, as people who have been there to visit and practice with us, or just have a connection through it, through the teachings. So we'll just let you know that Michelle will do a little, or guided meditation today. We'll do a little incorporating that reality. And at the end, we'll do a little metta chanting before we take some questions, um, just to kind of get ourselves in a good heart space to connect with what's happening out there. So good to see you all amidst all of that.
So to begin, we wanted to just thank everybody who offered Dana this last week and yesterday. It's really moving, and it's it's really, we're sure it's going to get there to where it needs to go. And that's not, that's very rare right now to be able to be sure of that. Risky, it's risky, but we're sure of it. So thank you so much. Mm. So I'd like to ask you to just let your attention very gently start to settle around your body, the space around your body. No need to yank the attention anywhere, but it's a softening of the awareness around your body. And the softening can feel like a relaxation. So there's no need for forcing. It's more like a settling in. And as we connect there with our whole body, often it can be the easiest just to become aware that hearing is happening. So again, it's not a forcing. It's just recognizing that hearing is happening. And within that, we start to see if we can be aware of the felt sense of our body without the visual image sometimes. So as we're including the hearing, there's no hearing, but there's hearing, but no hearer. There's just vibrations, textures within the body and with sound. No inside, no outside, just vibrations and textures, not going through the thought process. So the emphasis being on softening, relaxing, receiving just what comes to the attention. Thoughts about what's happening will come and go as well. We just notice thinking, just like hearing, just like body sensation. And you might start to notice if you bring some kindness or care or tenderness to what's appearing, like with the sounds. Just a light care, a light kindness. With the knowing, the hearing, with the sounds. Often one can experience a deepening of the allowing, accepting quality. Receptive, allowing, caring, attention. We get that taste of a kind, non-doing, moment to moment awareness. Shift to our hands. Again, the visual image will appear at times and go. With some light tenderness or care, just even interest. Just being with the nature of the body sensations there just as they are. Wishing them well. Ease of well-being. Peaceful of heart. And if you can, it doesn't matter, but if you can, letting that equanimity, being with the things as they are there, the kindness, metta, care, compassion. No need to fix or get rid of, just letting it sink in right there. So of course, this requires not being in a hurry. Get the taste of it sinking in. It can be nice to shift to the abdomen, belly, the hand that cares, the awareness in the hand that cares, shifting to the movement of life itself, the breath. We don't even connect right with the movement at first. You just settle there. You might catch the beginning of the falling movement, the end of the rising movement. No pressure. It can be a great ease and calm, and just being with this movement with tenderness, kindness, not trying to change it in any way, but just letting it be just as it is, which is kind and wise. And shift to the place inside our head or around it where thinking happens. It's that same process, taking time to settle, soften, relax, not being in a hurry. Be kind, caring, understanding things are just as they are. Thoughts are coming and going here, just as they are, just thinking. Not mine, not ours, not yours. You can do this with whatever appears. Anger, boredom, joy, sorrow, happiness, fear, pain, neutral pleasure. Immersing with care and kindness, with things just as they are, infusing with ease of well-being, ease, deep understanding. to end the sitting, we're going to just shift to how we started the sit, where the attention is just softening around our own body. And just letting that light, gentle being with things as they are, with kindness. Just letting that awareness settle within your body, mind, heart. Wishing yourself well. And receiving it, receiving the wish to be safe and protected, happy and peaceful, ease of well-being. And just like the attention opens up around our body, just asking you to do that with our whole planet. Your body, then the whole planet. Softening around it. This bejeweled planet. Being with things as they are. With this very gentle care, kindness. With all breathing beings. All beings seen and unseen. And your attention might get just pulled in, just like with our own body, to places. But I would ask for today, just let's bring our attention softening around Burma. Around the epicenter of the earthquake. Letting your care and kindness and being with the nature of how things are right now. Letting that infuse all beings there. nunlets, monklets, infants, children, animals, birds, monks, nuns, lay people. Fish in the river, all the beings, cats, dogs. And again, you might feel like you want to expand that to everyone and all beings on the planet. Or maybe everyone here today at the sitting, our Sangha, here right now. May we be happy and peaceful of heart. May we be happy and peaceful of mind. May we be happy and peaceful of body. May all beings be safe and protected from inner and outer harm.
Thank you, Michelle. So we thought that it would be appropriate and good to do some metta chanting together. Folks who have sat on, retreats in person or online with us know that we always like to end the days of practice doing some metta chanting as a way to, of course, kind of soften the heart and remind ourselves of the beautiful intention that we're all striving for, aiming for, of a heart that has this capacity to care without limits, without reservation or boundaries, in part because it understands the nature of things. And also we chant because it's how this lineage has been passed down for so long, for centuries before the teachings were ever written down. They were passed on orally, and in a chanting way, a chanting method in the Pali language. And so it's a part of our spiritual, religious heritage that feels important to not let go of, even if we aren't great Pali scholars. it's important to honor that and to always be honoring where these teachings came from and the people who have protected them and tried to live by them for so many centuries, millennia. How grateful we are, how indebted we are, and how it's alive still, right? You know that right now, throughout the world, people are chanting loving kindness chants, you know, particularly in Buddhist countries, and then in these lineages in the Theravadan Buddhist countries, you know, what we will chant tonight will be very familiar, you know, to many people of our lineage and our sibling lineages out there. For those of you who are not as familiar with this, you know, if you haven't sat with us on longer retreats, you know, it's a little bit of a longer chant. If you've sat at a retreat center in the West, you've likely come across some version of it. Maybe sometimes more the Reader's Digest version. And to be fair, this is not the longest version. And Michelle tells a story of Saito Ulakana, you'll see as we go through it, there's a part where you try to go through all the directions and you can do the whole chant, each direction, right? So then there's the four cardinal and the four others and the up and down. So there's like what does that add up to? 10 directions. It was like a 3 hour session. Yeah. You really want to clean out the living room, get in all the nooks and crannies. So we won't do that version, but we'll do the good wholehearted one. And again, if you have not chanted with us or others online, of course on Zoom, it's not it's its own unique flavor of craziness sounding in terms of just all of our voices kind of mixing in and out, but that's been part of the fun of it actually. So so we look forward to doing it, and we'll just do it call and response. I will do the call and y'all can do the response. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Oops. Yeah, and so feel free to unmute yourselves. You should all be able to at this point. Is that yes? All right. Yeah. So feel good. You know, don't worry about the perfect pronunciation. Don't worry about your beautiful chanting voice. You'll see this is starting with ourselves, abiding in kindness, being caring about ourselves, our bodies, our happiness, and then going through every dimension that we can imagine of all the different types of people and beings that we hope will be happy and good. So here we go. Aham awero homi.
Awero homi.
Abhya pajo homi.
Abhya
pajo homi.
Anigo homi.
Anigo homi.
Suki atanam pariharami.
Sukiyatanam
Hariharami.
Mama mata pitu
Mama
acharya cha.
mata
Pitu Acharya Cha.
Nyati mita cha sabramachari no cha.
Yati mina
Cha
cha brahmachari cha
Brahmacharya.
Aweda hontu.
You have any desire to
To
Abhya panja hontu.
Abhyapajahan to
Aniga
Never mind.
hontu.
Anigo
Gahan
hontu
to
Suki atanam pariharantu.
Sukiyatanam
Nam
pariharantu.
Hariharan to
Imasmim arame sabe yogino.
Asmi arame
Sabe
yogino.
awera huntu.
Awera
Huntu.
hontu.
Abyapa jahuntu.
Abhyabhaja
Hontu.
hontu.
Aniga hontu.
Niga
Hontu.
hontu.
Suki atanam pariharanti.
Yatanam
Harantu.
Pariharantu.
Imasmim arame sabe biku bikuniocha.
Masmi dame sabe
Kuniocha.
Upasaka upasika yocha.
Upasika, Upasikayocha.
Ayacha.
Awera hontu.
Awera
Hontu.
Abyapa jahontu.
Abhyapajaja
Hontu.
Hontu.
Aniga hontu.
Aniga Hontu.
Suki atanam pariharantu.
Sukiyatanam
Yatanam
Pariharantu.
Parihantu.
Amakam chatu pachayadayaka.
Amakam Pachaya Dayaka.
Chatutaya.
Awera hontu.
Vera
Hontu.
hontu.
Abya hontu.
Abhyapajaja Hontu.
Hontu.
Aniga hontu.
Aniga Hontu.
Hontu.
Suki atanam pariharantu.
Sukiyatanam
Yatanam
Pariharantu.
Pariharantu.
Amakam araka dewata.
Amakam
Akam
Araka
Araka
Daya.
Devaya.
Imasmim wihare imasmim awase.
Imasmi
Asmi
Hare,
Marame
Imasmi
Mawase.
Mawase.
Imasmim arame araka dewata.
Imasmi
Asmi
Marame
Marame
Araka
Araka
Dewata.
Devata.
Awera hontu.
Awena Hontu.
Hontu.
Abya hontu.
Abhyapaja Hontu.
Aniga hontu.
Aniga Hontu.
Suki atanam pariharantu.
Sukiyatanam
Pariharantu.
Pariharantu.
Sabe sata.
Sabe sata.
Sata.
Sabe pana.
Sabe
Devana.
pana.
Sabe buta.
Devana.
Sabe pugala.
Sabe
Pugala.
pugala.
Sabe atabawa pariya pana.
Sabe
Sabe
Atibawa
atabawa pariapana.
Pariarapana.
Saba itio.
Sapa
Saityo.
Ito.
Sabe purisa.
Sabe
Sabe
Purisa.
purisa.
Saba napungsakani.
Saba
Saba
Napumsakani.
napumsakani.
Sabe wana.
Sabe Wana.
Vana.
Sabe Arya.
Sabe
Sabe Arya.
Arya.
Sabe Anarya.
Sabe
Sabe
Arya.
Anarya.
Sabe Dewa.
Sabe
Sabe
Dewa.
Deva.
Sabe Manusa.
Sabe
Sabe
Manusa.
Manusa.
Sabe Winipatika.
Vinipatika.
Awera Hontu. Abya Panja Hontu.
Apaja Hantu.
Aniga Hontu.
Aniga Hontu.
Hantu.
Suki Atanam Pariharantu.
Hantu.
Dukkha Muchantu.
Muchantu.
Yata Landa Sampatito.
Yada
Sampatito.
Mawega Chantu.
Gachantu.
Amasaka.
Asaka.
Purati Maya Disaya.
Maya Disaya.
Chimaya Disaya.
Maya Disaya.
Uttaraya Disaya.
Raya.
Dakinaya Disaya.
Maya Disaya.
Purati Maya Nudisaya.
Maya Nudisaya.
Pachimaya Nudisaya.
Chimaya Nudisaya.
Uttaraya Nudisaya.
Maya Nudisaya.
Dakinaya Nudisaya.
Nudisaya.
Timaya Disaya.
Timaya Disaya.
Uparimaya Disaya.
Parimaya Disaya.
Udam Yawa Bhavagacha.
Namyawa Bhagacha.
Ado Yawa Avichito.
Yawa Awichito.
Samanta Chakawalesu.
Samanta Chakawalesu.
Yesata Patavichara.
Kavitara.
Abhya Panjani Vedacha.
Abhyabhajani Veracha.
Niduka Chanu Padawa. Udam Yawa Bhavagacha.
Namyawa Bhagacha.
Ado Yawa Avichito.
Awichito.
Samanta Chakawalesu.
Samanta Chakawalesu.
Isata Udakechara.
Sata Buddha Kechara.
Abhya Pajani Vedacha.
Abhyabhajani Veracha.
Niduka Chanu Padawa.
Chanu Padawa.
Udam Yawa Bhavagacha.
Udam Yawa Bhagacha.
Ado Yawa Avichito.
Yawa Awichito.
Samanta Chakawalesu.
Samanta Chakawalesu.
Yesata Kasechara.
Sata Akase.
Abhya Pajani Vedacha.
Abhyabhajani Veracha.
Niduka Chanu Padawa.
Dukachanu Padawa.
Udam Yawa Bhavagacha.
Udam Yawa Bhagacha.
Ado Yawa Avichito.
Wichito.
Samanta Chakavalesu
Samanta
Chakavalesu.
Chakavalesu
Esata Gimichara
Yesatanichara.
Abhyapajani Veracha
Yavaracha
Nidukacha Nupadawa
Idukachadama.
Imaya Damanu Dama Pati Patiya
Himaya
Himaya
Dhamma
Damu Damaya
Patiya.
Patiya
Budam Pujemi
Buddham
Pujemi
Pujami.
Imaya Damanu Dama Pati Patiya
Himaya
Himaya
Dhamma
Damu
Dhamma
Damaya
Patiya.
Dhammam Pujemi
Dhammam
Dhammam
Pujami.
Pujemi
Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Pati Patiya
Himaya Dhamma
Damu
Dhamma
Dhamma
Patiya.
Patiya
Sangam Pujemi
Sangam
Sangam Pujemi
Pujami.
Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Pati Patiya
Himaya
Himaya
Dhamma Dhamma
Dhamma
Patiya.
Patiya
Matapiparu Pujami.
Mata
Mata
Pita
Pujami.
Pujemi
Mata Pujami.
Pujami
Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Pati Patiya
Himaya
Dhamma
Patipatiya
Patiya.
Acharya Pujemi
Acharya
Acharya Pujami.
Pujami
Ada Imaya Pati Padaya
Himaya Patipataya
Jaramara Namha
Jaramaranamha.
Harimuchi Sami
Harimuchi Sami.
Idame Punyam
Idame
Dame
Punyam.
Punyam
Sawaka Yawahang Hotu
Asawakaham
Hotu
Hotu.
Idame Silam
Idame Silam.
Ram
Agapala Nyanasa
Agapalanyanasa.
Achayo Hotu
Acharyo
Hotu
Hotu.
Imam no Punyabagam
Imam no
Imano
Punyabhagam.
Punyabhagam
Sabasatanang Dema
Sabasatanam
Sabasatanam
Deva.
Deva
Sabe Sata Sukita Hontu
Sabe Sata
Sata
Sukita Hontu.
Hotu
Sadhu, Sadhu,
Sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.
Hey, excellent. Really wonderful, everyone. Hmm. Well, yeah, thank you. It's important to like not lose connection with that good feeling, no matter what is the many tragedies and disasters and difficulties that we encounter, it isn't to say we don't feel all the other emotions as well, but it's we already see and are inspired by so much of our relations over there right now who are going through very difficult times and feeling the difficulty of it and the scariness and the grief of loss and of ancient buildings and of life and of just infrastructure um and the ability for day-to-day things just to kind of work in basic functionality. And yet, like the utmost priority, of the heart, of the spiritual life, that we not lose our connection of trying to do the work of repair and resolution with that kind of resolve towards kindness and open-heartedness and ease and the wishing for the well-being of all. So it feels good to do that together. Maybe if folks stick around to the end today, maybe we can play a little small bit of the nuns chanting at Chazwa. For folks who don't know it, you'll hear it, and for folks who, of course, have been there, it's a nice memory. The different nuns from the sort of 3 different nunneries that we support in this village, this area, next to the Chazwa Monastery that we have held this retreat at for many years in Burma, Myanmar. They kind of self-organize during the retreat to take turns to come chant to the yogis in the evening, Metta Chant. They do it in Burmese, but it's all the same message. So, Michele, shall we take a few questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Agree.
Agreed. So yes, if anyone, if you have any questions about your practice, about the instructions, chanting, whatever it might be that we might be able to support you with right now, we'd love to be able to do that and have a little time. So if you have a question, as usual, the best way to let us know is at the bottom of the screen, your Zoom screen. If you move it around, there's a button that says raise hand. You can click on that. We'll know that you have a question. We can call on you. Or you can type into the chat that you have a question. You don't have to ask it there, but we'll call on you. And yeah. Hi, Julie. Let's see. Can you unmute yourself there? Oh, hold on. How about? Okay, let's see. I can't quite hear it. I'm gonna click this thing that says ask to unmute. Does something show up that's saying? I still can't hear you. So I can't tell if you're on a phone. We can't hear you, Julie. It looks like, anyway, at the bottom of your screen, there should be a little microphone button that says audio, and you can kind of click on it or unclick it. I can't remember on the phone app. And I don't know what happens when I have, there's a little thing I can say to ask you to unmute, but I don't really know what that. I assume something might show up saying, do you want to unmute?
Jesse, when I clicked on her microphone, like a profile came up, but I couldn't access
Yeah,
it.
we can't unmute her.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Probably for the best that we don't have that level of power.
Maybe Julie could type in a question.
If you can, I wonder if it's more, maybe even more difficult. I don't know what kind of,
Yeah.
you're on a
Okay.
phone or iPad. I don't know, Julie, do you think you can, can you see a thing where it says to chat? It does look like you might be on a screen of like an iPad or something, right? Or if you just touch the screen, does there something show up that says like where's the little microphone button? You can mute or I'm sorry. You could send us an email. Oh, okay. I don't know if maybe this, so Julie, someone just said on your phone, if you swipe to the left on your, are you on it? That a little microphone button or should pop up oh, that was close though. That was almost the thing. Hmm. Does it, if you swipe on your screen to the left, does it give you an option to, no? Okay. Oh.
She really could. We could take another question. She could, Julie,
Yeah,
you
so
could
you're
write an
welcome to write an
email
email and I
if
can
you want
check
to
it
write
while
an
we're,
email.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless we can read your lips, which
It's
not doing
very
very well.
small. I have to get my
Very small.
glasses.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Julie, we have another suggestion. Yeah. If you just tap the middle of your screen, does anything show up like in terms of options? Mm. Well, it was worth a try.
That's like the question, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Yeah.
It does remind me of the other night at the fundraiser. It was hosted by a different organization, and I did not have host powers, and it was like a noticeable difference in terms of chaos or lack
Smooth,
of chaos. People like,
smoothness.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Not
people being
smooth.
able to like unmute themselves, mute themselves. Finally, I got the reins. Riva, do you have a question?
Yes, I
Hi.
was wondering if Vipassana Hawaii was planning to go to Burma, and do you still do Burmese retreats?
So we have not since the coup, which happened. So the last retreat we did was 2020, right?
The beginning,
COVID.
the
Yeah.
COVID.
It
Yeah.
was like the pandemic just started when we were all leaving. We handed out masks to everyone. And then the following winter we canceled because we knew it was going to be COVID, but then there was a military coup that happened. And we basically haven't been able to go back since because it just hasn't been safe. I mean, there's a civil war happening. Hundreds of ethnic armed groups and the national unity government fighting the central government, and it's just there's no way that that would have been has been possible, you know, over the past few years. And it doesn't really, especially now, I mean, who knows now with the earthquake, but even before the earthquake, it's still very unstable, you know, throughout the country, and then unfortunately growing in Sagaing as well. Not hasn't been so much in the area that we tended to visit, but just to the west a little bit. There's a lot of fighting going on. So, you know, until it's safe and until it feels like a, you know, we've had it's been complicated for a bunch of reasons in the past, still with the military in charge for many years, the sort of kind of ethical questions of traveling there. And but we've always, you know, we ultimately felt resolved that to do it in this context still felt appropriate and good, and a way to kind of maintain connection with sort of, you know, home tradition. But at this point, it's really just not safe to do it, and it's unfortunately has felt like it might be quite a while before we could really kind of go back safely. I do, you know, with the earthquake and the sort of the need for humanitarian aid, it seems like it's possible that there might be some kind of opening for people to from outside the country to kind of go back more safely in ways that help, but not yet, you know. The government is still like bombing people amidst all of this. And I just read in Mandalay, there's not like a really functioning government in a lot of ways. So the people are out there, you know, sifting through the rubble on their own in self-organized ways. And the the government, the police, the military have kind of enforcing a curfew in the evening so that people have to stop the rescue work. And then on top of that, they're going to the sites and they're looking for basically young men who are doing the work and conscripting them by force into the military, taking them outside of out of the rescue work and bringing them by force into the military. So it's a, you know, very fraught on like every level, you know, you can imagine. So anyway, that's the long answer to no or not. We'd love to go back, and it's unclear when that's really going to be feasible. Yeah.
There was one year that we didn't go because of the saffron revolution, but it was only 1 year. And so it's our responsibility to keep people safe that come in. So we can't do that at all now, right now. But things can change.
Hi, Robin.
Hi.
Robin. Hi, Robin.
Oh, sorry. Um, quick question. Concerned about Stephen. How is Stephen Smith doing?
Do you mean in relationship to the earthquake or just in general?
Where is he?
Yeah, I happened to be on the phone with him when the earthquake hit. It was very intense. He's in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and a lot of people don't know that of course, most people probably know the Bangkok hotel, one of the hotels under construction fell, but it's, you know, they had minor damage to where condo and minor damage, some minor injuries, but he's really okay there right now, in terms of the earthquake. Yeah. And then,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, great. It was a very intense earthquake, just even in Chiang Mai. So it's really understandable why it's such a mess right now around the epicenter. Because I could, it was pretty bad in Chiang Mai. I guess I would just say in relationship to all this, I think that we know at least a lot of people have no place to live. And we know that they were actually having very little food before this all happened. And so I think partly it's really two things. One is to appreciate if we have shelter and if we have food and medicine. And but also to just like really try to hope and send metta and just like really hope we can get as much aid as we can into the place.
Yeah, and you know, of course, it's like we're very appreciative if everyone is able to donate money, and there's also like of all the places in the world where people value in like the most concrete way you can imagine, like that people be practicing metta. You know what I mean? Like it's also not just about money, and that we know that everyone doesn't have resources to be able to kind of offer in that way. But there's, you know, even our friend Jake was talking to the nun next door, Dayuzana, who's their main building collapsed. You know, anyone who's here who might have ordained, you know, as a nun next door, it would have been in that building, you know, or on the steps of that building. And you know, she was crying. It's like we don't have a place to live, you know. And of course, there are many people who will take care of them, and there's other parts of the complex that they'll be able to be sheltered in, and but it's significant, you know. And when he asked, what can we do? She said, just send metta. For now, just send metta. You know, that's the most important thing. So it's very much valued, you know. Yeah. Mm.
We have Jesse found a video. There's a group from Japan of doctors who've been doing a lot of work at the hospital we built for some years, and he found a video of the hospital being evacuated, and they're bringing people to a hospital downriver by boat. So you see you see that part of it all where one whole part of the hospital has collapsed, but also you see everybody helping to get these people downriver to another hospital on a boat. So I think that it's just that sense that you know, it's very moving to know we know some nuns places have collapsed and the nuns have died, and there's just this very vast range of what we need to be sending metta for, but everybody's doing their best to help each other there right now as well.
Pat, and then I think Julie figured out her microphone. Yay.
All right.
Oh, Pat, did you?
Well, why don't Julie go first?
Okay. Thanks. I just was going to ask how I can access email. Like I haven't gotten any notifications because I'm not hooked up by email.
Oh, but you must be hooked up to some degree if you're getting how do you get this Zoom link for the Sundays?
I get I get emails to join into it, you know,
okay,
to join on, but I haven't gotten any emails about like the, you know, the
Burma stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll go check because usually, like, you know, anyway, I don't. These are things never work like you want them to, but the intention was that I sent that out to everyone who's on our email list. So, if you didn't get it, I'll check on that. Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
And we'll send it to you, so you can have it at this point for sure. Yeah, great.
Okay, great.
Pat.
So,
hey, Pat.
Michelle, Jesse, and everyone, Sangha. Michelle, I think you said that you were on the phone with Steve when the earthquake happened?
It just happened to happen, but it was very funny because I said, can you keep your phone from jiggling? Your phone is jiggling. And usually I'm on the phone with the cat too, and the cat was looking like it was jiggling. And I'm like, can you like fix it? And he said, we're having a major earthquake. I can't fix it. Oh, yeah. So, and then the caregiver was screaming, I'm so afraid. It was a bad earthquake. It was a bad earthquake.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that must have been so hard for you listening to that and feeling completely helpless.
Well, the word I actually have the karma one with that big one, this 9.3, the tsunami many years ago.
Right.
I happened to be on the phone with Steve for that one. So
Oh
it's
my,
a strange karma, and that was much worse. He was on the top floor of a Bangkok hospital, and he was like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And I'm like, "Gosh, I think you should get under a doorway and like stay put. Like, I don't know, but it was like."
it depends on the doorway.
Right, yeah, but it was just like horrible because evacuating at that point at that hotel was questionable. Yeah. The elevators weren't working. So it was but anyway, it's just yeah, it's definitely not something I can do anything about when I'm on the phone. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
horrible, helpless feeling.
It's I think what's so interesting about earthquakes is that they're so sudden. And they feel like they're lasting forever. Like I think that's my sense of it is that, basically after it stopped, I called the caregiver to try to help her calm down because it was so terrifying. And then on that condo, all the water tanks broke and all the water was pouring off and a number of people got injured around that were on the ground outside. So that was happening at big hotels. There were pools in Bangkok where the water, you've probably seen it, the water
Right.
pouring off. But that even happened at his condo, but it was water tanks, not a pool. So it wasn't like nothing happened there, but no, nobody needs to be reporting that because it's so mild. It's the epicenter and around that area, which is where there's such extreme need.
So
Yeah.
in Bangkok it wasn't 7, it was
Well, my guess is that like when I did check my phone when I was on the phone with Steve, and it first registered 4.9 in Chiang Mai, right in the middle of it probably, and then it lasted a long time, and then 7.7 came up on my phone, and then 6.4 at the Mandalay airport came up right soon after that. So it was like I've never rechecked what happened actually, the amount in Chiang Mai. So, but it's clear that when you look at Jesse sent me a thing where it shows the epicenter and then
right.
the it's like a rock in a pond, and you see that circular nature of how far it's expanding. You'd be much more happy to be in Chiang Mai than the Sagaing Hill.
Well, I'm sure everyone here is feeling the same. I'm sending metta to everyone there and to you, all of you. It's a very shaky world right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well said.
That's all I have to say.
Hi, David. Let's see, can you unmute there?
Hi, David.
Hi. Well, first, Jesse, the not having a functioning government is, I think, it describes it more than Burma. It's kind of the state of many places these days, including ours. But anyway, there was a folk song. I don't know the name of it, but it goes something like, many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Hard times, come again no more. What's what's lingering around my door is not hard times, what is in a way, but it's hatred. And it seems ready to move in and take over. And it's scary. I feel like in recent months, I've been really wronged, and I'm angry about that, but that angry is close to turning into hatred, and that feels really scary. And I'm not sure how to combat that.
It's so beautiful. It's so it's so beautiful to hear that sense of the fear of it, really, you know, of really fathoming how destructive and horrible and toxic it is. And yet, of course, it's important to see what you're also seeing of how compelling it can be and how satisfying to certain tendencies in the mind. And there's a groove there. You can see that, like, that it can get cut in that direction, you know. So I'm sure Michelle will also, you know, we may have both things to say, but I think I just wanted to start with just that. It's just what you're describing is so important. That feeling of, you can understand where it's coming from, you feel the anger, and then you see the threat and the concern of something more consuming, more destructive, more horrible, you know, and that you're afraid of it and you don't want to feel that. You know, I don't think I can say enough of how that's the mechanism, that's the key, that's the ticket, you know, to being able to work with it in a way that it doesn't become that kind of all-consuming fire, you know. But I think that there's a part of like that, what is it, the reckoning with of feeling that you've been wronged, you know. I don't think that it's not going to come through that a denial of that or a dismissing of that feeling. But I do think that often it's our inability to feel the vulnerability of that and the sadness and the grief of being harmed or being betrayed or, you know, whatever it might be, you know, that is a very hard thing to feel. And so that as a part of the defense, the mind will try to externalize that, the rage, the anger, the want others to feel it, right? Or at least to kind of get it out of your own system. And yet, of course, that is its own fire that burns you, you know. You know, that's what they say. It's like you may or may not end up harming other people, but you're definitely harming yourself, you know. And that the painfulness of it is also important. And it is, I can already tell, it's like that you're experiencing that, you're sensitive to it because you don't want it to become all consuming. You don't want it to be all around, you know, knocking at your door all the time. But some part of that can be, I mean, let's say one aspect of that can be the sense of being willing and able to kind of courageously feel the sadness and the grief and the vulnerability of being harmed, of being threatened, the betrayal, whatever. Sometimes it's like the honesty with those feelings, but in a more sensitive way, can sometimes start to deflate the mind's and heart's tendency to need to kind of expel it externally, you know. There's more to say than that, but I want to see if Michelle wants to offer anything first.
I think it's this endless learning we all have around what Jesse said about how it's easy to blame and to hate outside of us, and we don't recognize that we're the ones who need help. We're the ones who need compassion. And if we actually listened to the anger as a cry, it's like a cry for compassion for yourself. You've been hurt, right? But we don't feel that. We don't go, ow, like it's really anger. Anger is like a screaming of, ow, right? Like it's like, ow, 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 ow. And then if we can just see that we hate the behavior, we're hating the behavior that harms. We're hating the harm. And I feel for everybody right now, just within our own country, like, to me, it's like this test, like for everybody to not fall for like just being enraged. That's the strategy. That's the strategy that's going on against us, to be terrorized or to be rageful, it's like the test of it and the amount of time and energy and rest it takes to see it clearly, right? Like the RX, the medicine is compassion, just compassion for yourself, taking care of your own heart. It's like if you saw the wound of it, if you actually saw it physically, you would want to take care of it. You'd really want to take care of it. And any way you can just go, ow, like anger is information. It's information that we hurt. And it's not taught. We don't learn how to do it. It's very easy to be caught in. I'm saying it, David, it's very hard. When you feel betrayal, it's very hard to work with. Very hard. And you can see how easy it is to drown. It's, of course you're afraid of it. It's like, of course you're afraid of it. It's like, there's even, I don't remember, I should memorize it sometime, but even in the Dhammapada with the Buddha, it's like that thing there he's saying, you hit me, you robbed me, you did this, you did that. Like, right? Like he's showing he's going over the anger, and then he's saying hatred is never appeased by hatred. Hatred is never appeased by hatred. It's only appeased by love. But it's a beautiful, almost like poetry of just the repetition of, you did this to me, you did that to me, you did this to me, you did that to me. That's like he's expressing how that feels.
There's also, the other side. It's like when there's something like this, you need all the tools you can get. And so there's, you think about, okay, there's the compassion side, the feeling of the emotions and feeling, being willing to go through maybe the more vulnerable version of it. There is the sense of, wanting that's considered legitimate, like not wanting to hurt yourself, like wanting to save yourself from the fire is actually like a very important motivation in the text, the understanding of like, wow, they are gonna reap the benefits of their actions, and you feel compassion for them because they they're gonna have a hard time because of what they've done or whatever. There's also
that joke, may your bad karma ripen quickly. You can
yeah, right. So you at least learn the lesson, right? Don't wait lifetimes, or you don't know where that rock came from. There's also just like when you're feeling it build, right? And you're feeling like it's like getting a little bit of the recipe. What happens where a little whiff of that memory comes up and that thought pattern starts to emerge again of like rehearsing, right? Oh, what they did and how they're wrong and all, that starts to build. There is the Vipassana side of it in the very kind of more extreme end of just sitting and trying to observe what's happening. It's not about getting rid of it. It's not about replacing it with something else. It's not about transforming it into something else. This is about what is happening and trying to understand. and not just understand kind of intellectually the thought process, but understand like what is anger, what is really happening here, right? And to feel like, what do you feel like in the body? What are the thoughts that are happening? What are the emotions? Are the emotions happening in the body, or is it the mind? Are those things, how are those things related, right? Like trying to just be genuinely interested in investigating the patterns and the cycles, and like what starts to kind of conjure more momentum of anger, and what starts to, so sometimes just the mindfulness in a very, if you do it in a very kind of wholehearted way, it doesn't mean you have to be like that 24 hours a day, but this sense of like when it starts to build, you take it seriously, right? You stop and you try to watch what's really happening and try to understand it, and then that will provide insight no matter what. But there are times where also it's like that insight can interrupt the flow of the process, right? That it interrupts the kind of chain of events, because at some point you see that there is a choice all the time. There are these many choices to continue on with something, and at some point that becomes distasteful, right? You don't want actually to feel like that. You want to unhook from it, and it just takes one moment of that for the cycle to stop. And so that is the other side of it, of like there's the kind of compassion side of it and the wisdom side. And some more that is like, talking ourselves down, imagining, there's all kinds of things we can do. But in terms of practice, there's the kind of caring about ourselves, and then there's the genuine just investigation of like, oh, what is anger? Being really interested, not because you think you're a bad person or you're going to be a bad person or they're bad people or whatever. It's like this sense of like you're genuinely interested because this is a human experience. And like Michelle is saying, and like you're alluding to, there's a million reasons why we might start feeling like we're sloping down towards hatred, and understanding why does that happen? How does that happen? And ultimately, how do we change that dynamic? How do we enable some other ways of being? Those are really important for all of us, so that you're also not doing it just for yourself, that like your ability to do that will stop a chain of events in the world around you as well, and that is the significance of that can't be overstated.
Well, thank you both so much.
Yeah. Good luck with it.
You've given me some great tools, and you made me laugh, and it helps a
Right.
lot.
Well, you say that when you need humor. May your bad karma ripen quickly. It really helps. Yeah.
Well, I think we probably should call it a day. What do you think, Michelle? Should we let them listen to a little bit of nuns chanting?
Of course.
Okay. Well, hopefully this will work. We'll see. Sometimes the share sound, yes.
The one thing we all love about being at Shazwa is you can hear so much chanting all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see. This is a long 20-minute thing, but we'll just listen to the last 3 minutes or so. Could you hear that for a second? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can see all your albums up on
That's
the
all right.
screen.
You can see
Okay,
what
I
they're
like it.
recommending to me. Oh. Hmm.
You want to translate that? Just that last
Jabaze,
part.
Namabaze,
That last part.
Jandabaze. That's what if you hear them in that, it's like, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be healthy, may you be safe. And then the last part is Michelle's favorite part.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it, take it, take it, take the merit, take it, take it. It's so beautiful.
Mhm.
Mm.
So yeah, well, take it with you. Mia, mia, mia.
Yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good to be with you all again this week. Take good care. See you soon.